heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace of my noble Brian Hicks Bay. We're gonna have an evening teaching. But man, Brian, brother, one more time, man. Can you play that introduction, man, by yours truly, Brian Hicks Bay?
Yes, sir.
And it's on his debut. I don't like to call it rap. I like to call it reality life music. And his album is called Transportation of Raw Materials, streaming on all platforms. I'm Nobles. Check it out, man. Listen to my brother. But Brian, can you give us that intro one more again, brother?
Yes, sir. Let's have it.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. In my Jeezy voice. Yeah. This man. Peace to everybody, man, on this beautiful day. But we just want to give a little history today. I hope you got your pencils and your papers, because I love history. I don't love semantics. I don't love spookism. My ear be everywhere. All people have to do is ask, and you will be able to be enlightened before you post things. You know, somebody showed me a book about, I think it was called Secret Wisdom or something like that. And I say, man, yeah, I know where that book come from. I know where it's connotated from. A lot of the artwork, like when ancient artwork is out, a lot of times people have to change stuff a little bit for it won't be copywritten and things. But I lecture this stuff. This stuff is old. And I tell people, we will get a book. And this what I tell all people that's on the journey. You will get a book and read a book and not having a map and guide and think everything in the book is valid. And then be on social media arguing with people. I say that's one of the most funniest things I always talk about our people, because most people are not scholars. It's nothing to argue about. Certain stuff you don't post and proclaim like it's valid. I'll give you another analogy. I'm going to talk about a little when people say Flavius Josephus and all that. So I'm just giving you things for scholarship for you can write down. And I'm going to give another little history. And if people want me to go over a book list by some of our elders, one of them is Bobby Hemmett. I have the whole book list. If people give small donations, I'll go over the whole book list and I'll give you the books, ebooks. I have all these books. I have a full library. But hey, if not, I'm just going to keep teaching, and I'm not sharing books anymore, you know, because I know how our people do. No way I can be dealing with different nationalities and all my books, everything that I do fly off the shelves, and I lecture and I tell my people we lost due to a lack of knowledge. But anyway, I debunk a lot of nonsense people be talking about when they be talking about Flavius Josephus and all this. Remember, Pisos, P-I-S-O. I lecture this in academia. P-I-S-O. P-I-S-O. The Piso theory. It comes from a certain theory, 1960 to 1970, mainly from a writer using the pseudonym. Remember, I always talk about pseudonym. A pseudonym is your pen name. Because a lot of Europeans, Albions, troglodytes had to write in their pen names if they was going to get to church. A pseudonym, his name was Abelard Reuchlin, A-B-E-L-A-R-D, Reuchlin. It claims, and I quote, a Roman aristocrat, remember y'all hear me talking about aristocrats, the family, the Pisos, secretly wrote the New Testament to control the masses and used Josephus as part of the plot. Now, when your brothers and sisters, I'll be trying to tell you, I can go deeper and deeper and deep from scholarship and say, hey, everything you're talking about is Fuji dust. Why? From scholarship. And all my colleagues, professors, and ones that they profession, they'll say yes. Even when I deal with a lot of my other nationalities, when I talk about so-called Jesus in the Talmud, and you see what they call Jesus in the Talmud. So when people just be talking stuff and they say they was called to do this, I say, you ain't called to do nothing. Not if you're not going to give it from scholarship. Because in academia, you will fail. And so that's what that come from. A Roman aristocrat family, the Pisos, secretly wrote the New Testament to control the masses and used Josephus as part of the plot. The theory is part of the so-called ancient. It's not ancient. It's not from archaeology, manuscripts, or no early church history. It's a modern reinterpretation built on numerology, wordplay, and speculation. No ancient sources ever connect the Pisos to Christian writings. No manuscript tradition supports it. No early Christian, no Jew or Roman writer hints it at all. These are just facts. And it's foolishness people spread. The New Testament was written by authors, Paul letters, 50s, 60s AD. I can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and show you. I say, man, what you're saying is not valid. What you're saying is not scholarship. Why? Because it can be debunked from a person that don't have to be in that religion, from a person it's their profession. Like me, it'd be like, it can be debunked. Real easy. Real easy. Science and religion and spirituality, you got to understand they go together. Why? Because all Islamic scholars of the days, if you know that, the ones that did the world globes and things, all these Islamic scholars, all these Islamic jazz artists and stuff, when they was under their pseudonym, it's so much. I just watched a documentary of a Muslim lady married to this European man, but she was doing a documentary, and they was talking about Estevanco de Moor, talking about that history just now. I also, talk about quantum physics and the existence of God. I don't stand this. I teach this quantum physics and the existence of God. When I talk about quantum physics, all this stuff, this presupposes the reality of consciousness. That's what quantum physics is about. If a minimum realism about the external world is true, then the consciousness presupposed by quantum reality cannot be only that of the scientific observer, cannot be only local, but must be global. Global consciousness is argued to have all the essentials properties of God. Quantum reality depends on God consciousness, and the physical world depends on quantum reality. Therefore, the physical world depends on God's consciousness. You see? And from these empirical confirmations of Bell's criticism of the Einstein and the Polsky and the Rosen experiment, acronym EPR, the quantum reality does not depend on anything classical. There is no microcosmic, no Newton Einstein world more fundamental than the quantum level. It follows the consciousness, does not depend on, and is irreducible to anything physical. What I'm saying is, if the quantum depends on consciousness and consciousness were to depend on the physical, then the quantum world depends on the physical via consciousness. But that is precisely ruled out by Bell's criticism of the EPR experiment and by subsequent practical work. You see, I'm not going to stay too far in this, but this is what I teach, this is what I lecture. I had the pleasure to teach this. Man, it's just our people lost, man. That's all I say. We the only group of people that'll be on social media arguing over some things that's meaningless. We the only group of people that get hustled by our own people on the internet because people criminals. I say all this stuff is not even real, and you know it. And you know it. And so I ask, brother and sister, why are you doing these things? Why are we dealing with these charlatans? These people not even smart as Bernie Madoff. And we think somebody can file you some piece of paper and tell you to do all these things and no one life change. And people just don't get it, man. So I'm gonna talk about a little history. Let me find something. I'm gonna talk about a little history. I wish all my brothers and sisters, man, share my teachings. I have a full library, man. Everybody should be getting all the ebooks from me, hitting me up. And you would think. Okay. So I'm gonna ask y'all, and see, have you ever heard of this person? Well, I'll break it down to you. Like when we talk about, I've heard somebody say Moors didn't rule Spain. And I'm like, huh? Because I don't have to get in Stanley Lane Poole, his book. I don't have to get in his book. I could talk about other histories and scholarship. And if I have these books downloaded in my phone, I'm gonna show you some other historical stuff that a lot of professors write about in scholarship at Cambridge, Oxford, and all these prestigious universities. But the history, the myths, and the legends surrounding the last Muslim ruler in Spain, whose surrender ended 7 centuries of Islam at the heart of Western Europe, is the subject of a new book and Hay Festival appearance by Cambridge academic Elizabeth Drayson. And she quotes, "I wanted to show why his life matters and the meanings it now has at this time of extreme tension between the West and the Islamic states." And I quote, "Based on original research and drawing attention to the connection between the medieval Moorish king Bodil, write this down, y'all. I'll give you a second. The Moorish king, Boabdil. Have anybody ever heard of that? Yes or no? Because if you didn't, just say no, I'm not here for that. If I'm gonna educate us real fast. I'm gonna educate us real fast. Because a lot of stuff can be debunked what people talk about. And especially women, with all due respect, when they be on social media and they be confusing people with that fake science. I've been seeing women on social media talk about, you can file this and the title ain't do this and that. I said, we know then that's that hogwash language. That's that semantics. Okay, now at the end of the day, what you trying to tell people to do? At the end of the day, when you come with all this word salad stuff, what you trying to tell people to do, lady? You see, these is games. These is games. And people understand that they was willing obligors. You trying not to pay something. That ain't how we operate. That ain't how we operate. You don't have no corporate debt. That is not how you operate. Only thing you'll be doing is getting yourself in harm's way. Sound like a whole bunch of bum stuff to me. It sounds like a whole bunch of people on some bum stuff to me. Not pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Not wanting to be counted as a people and say we united and have the same rights as other people, which is the consular court says, what? You want the same rights as others, but everybody wants something free. I don't want nothing free. I don't want nothing free. I don't want nothing given to me. Understand what I'm saying? So anybody understand? Anybody knew who the Moorish king is? Did y'all get a chance to just to write that name down before I proceed? Because I don't want you to forget the name. So if you did, good. If you didn't, uh-oh. So let's proceed. Balboa and currently social political concerns in his day. But Drayson presents the first full account in any language of the Moorish Sultan of Granada, the Moorish Sultan of Granada and head of the Nasrid dynasty. Remember, I always tell you the son did the bidding of the daughter. When people be talking about the Middle East and a certain family has took over something in a certain indigenous area and they rich, a whole family, the Salties, a family, and they rich and they own everything. How you think? How you think that happened? How? How can one part of the continent have all this rich soil and culture and make phones, all this, and the people of the area don't have nothing? Don't that sound suspicious to you? The academics' research has also uncovered a potentially mystery regarding the final resting place of the last Muslim king in Spain, long thought to have died in Algeria in 1494. Experts are now hoping to exhume the DNA test, what they believe to be the remains of the Sultan beneath a derelict mausoleum in Fez, Morocco. In the 10 years before Bob Dill's fall in 1492. His kingdom of Granada was the theater of one of the most significant wars in European history. The Sultan's territory was the last Spanish stronghold of a Muslim empire that had once stretched to the Pyrenees and beyond, including the cities of Barcelona, Pamplona, and Cordoba, which had been home to paved roads all the way back then, street lights, and more than 70 libraries, at a time when London and other European cities were backwaters of disease, violence, and illiteracy. You see how they reverse it all on you? How did Bob Dill change the course of Spanish history? Does he now represent what he stood for in the past? And how significant is he as a figure of resistance to the forces of Western Christendom? Asked Drayson, who spent 3 years working on her new book. And I already wrote this stuff in academia. The Moor's Last Stand. I have these books. I'm gonna show you. The Life of Bob Dill, Muslim King of Granada. When these people saw me at GCU, they were like, you lecture this. You're like, she's like, I can't believe that, because I like their gratitude. A lot of these professors that write. She was like, but you are really that. She's like, you really that, and you know this history. And she's like, how can I write a book? And then people like you buy the whole book and they fly off the shelf, and she'd be on one of the best writers. And she's like, and you, if everything I'm talking about, and you lecture it, and you done gathered and compiled this. Everything she's talking about in this book, this European lady, already lectured it. And I exhumed it. When she saw me, she said, oh my God. She said, you look just like the Moorish king. She said, all the history, she met me at GCU. Just like I met Spencer Dude that wrote a book called The Aliyhites. It's like I'm that what the people talking about. And I can burn all the books and speak it. Why? Because I studied it. I'm introduced to the science. I'm part of Rose and the Cross. I got my own charter. I'm academia. I've been telling y'all the PSO stuff is some made up stuff. You know? That Bob Dill was a key figure at a crucial moment in world history cannot be doubted. Most people didn't know about him, just like most people didn't know about Ibn Battuta. Research Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta. I give you a real education on this history and who was writers, all these our Islamic scholars and our people, poetry and all this. Research Ibn Battuta. I'll clear a lot of stuff up for you real fast. He was a key figure in world history and cannot be doubted. The current tensions between Islam and the West have their roots in his reign and in the kingdom he lost. Christian posterity has treated him with scorn and pity, viewed from the perspective of the victors. Just like every time they take you over, they come from the perspective of the victors. But my account presents the other side of the coin, revealing that issues of violence, tension, and compromise between Muslims and Christians were as pressing then as they are today. Because I told y'all, this is what happens with us. Religion separates man. What, fraternities, all this stuff, separate people. No solidarity. Betrayed by his own family and undermined by factions and internal conflict. Bob Dill's defeat at the hands of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. It's a little red book I got. I lecture. It's called The World of Ferdinand and Isabella. I lecture this stuff. Just like Patrice Lumumba, the Belgian couldn't really take him out until they got his own people to assist. The parents of Catherine and Aragon symbolized the epoch changing transition of Granada from Islamic State to Christian territory. Remember, in ancient times, they called you a Morisco or Moradine. Or no, Morisco. Ah, man. Moradine. No, it's not Moradine. I know it's Morisco, or it'll come to me. But it was two. Some by force, some willingly. But when you was Christian, you was Morisco, or it'll come to me. But a moment which set Spain on course to becoming the greatest power in early modern Europe. So I'll talk about David McRitchie. He got 2 volumes, The Ancient and Modern Britain. And then you'll see who the European scholar calls the Ancient and Modern Britain. It's also another scholar called Bertram Thomas. And Bertram Thomas have a book called The Arab. He tell you who the Arab is. Vladimir Dale have an ancient dictionary. He's a Russian, and he tell you what the ancient Arab is. I share this, A-R-A-P. That's how Arab is spelled, A-R-A-P, the ancient Arab. You can't be mad at me. You got to research everything I'm saying. 5 centuries after his death, it's timely to consider the impact of his defeat then and now. Added Drayson, Bob Dyll was a man of culture and war, a semir, a rebel, a father, husband, brother. He was a king, yet also the pawn of the Catholic monarchs. I wanted to show why his life matters and the meanings it now has at the time of extreme tension between the West and the Islamic states. Now here it is, these other people that took the time to research the history, and they books fly off the shelf. They be whatever they call them, bestsellers. And I lecture this, and I have full libraries. And I've written the science. I gathered and compiled the wisdom. That's why when they be seeing me and people be like, well, this, that, and the other. I said, I am that to the other people. I am that to all my European Masons and my European Jewish colleagues, because they all of my Scottish Rite Masons. That's why I'm be telling y'all. I graduated from GCU. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. I'm Melchizedek to my brothers and sisters. This is what I'll be telling people. I say, I'll be hoping it catch on for us. I'll be hoping it catch on for us. That's why I said my European colleagues, whatever, with all disrespect, they're not the joke of masonry, because they'll tell you that they're a son of a Muslim. The people I call joke of masonry is my melanated brothers and sisters. Why? Because you will say that you some widow son. That's why. And I show y'all my Scottish Rite colleagues giving credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. All you got to do is pull it up. The end of the Muslim rule at the heart of Spain came to an end on January 2nd, 1492, when Bob Dyll relinquished the keys to the Moorish capital to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. These are the keys to paradise, he said before leaving the city with his mother, Ixa. Legend has it that Bob Dyll retreated into exile, the same way Credo Matua had to. And remember, y'all know who David Icke is? David Icke wrote a lot of books. David Icke got rich. The Albion, the Troglodyte, the Troglodyte, the European, with all due respect, got rich. Credo Matua had to go in exile. And these people, we let certain individuals come in our life and make money off our stereo, take our regalia and make it cheap, and they don't be into it. And here it is, y'all know a shaman and a sheik and a medicine man that got everything for our culture. We making them rich, making their families continue to be rich. And we don't have no libraries. We don't own nothing. We can't help nobody. Why? Because we ain't supporting nothing. We can't help nobody and say, hey man, go to Sheikh Goodman Bay. They got the temple and the school and the library in the city of Flint, and they own by like 15 houses. You might just have to move to the city. He got it, boom, for brothers and sisters. How? Because we're a community. He turned around for one final distant look at Granada, sighing and burst into tears, his mother betraying little sympathy for her vanished son. It's said to have told him, you do well, my son, to cry like a woman for what you couldn't defend like a man. The last sigh has long been used by historians to belittle and diminish Bob Dyll's legacy. ignoring, according to Dresan, the immense sacrifice he demonstrated in saving his people from certain slaughter at the hands of Ferdinand and Isabella. So when all these people talk about, oh, the war of Ferdinand and Isabella, when they be talking about, no disrespect, all these Europeans, Mussolini and Churchill, man, y'all don't know what the atrocity these people did? These weren't no glorified people, except to the other man, with all due respect. Mussolini, man, took more people out than the Hitler. You know? But Ferdinand and Isabella's irrepressible armies, which encircled Granada. And the fall of Granada was of such magnitude that a mythical story was needed to explain, accept, or legitimize the immense upheaval the conquest brought about. The author Dresan said, according to her, Bob Dyll's heroism, long repudiated by most historical commentators, is evident in his ability to recognize the futility of further resistance and the choice he made in rejecting the future suffering, starvation, slaughter of his people. And instead, he bargained for the best terms of surrender possible, rejecting everybody to become martyrs and willingly sacrificing his reputation for the greater good. The loss of Granada is viewed by modern writers as a prelude to the repression of the Muslim world, added Dresan, at a time when Europe is seeking a way of addressing issues of racial and religious intolerance, equality, and freedom. We might look closely at the Spanish Muslims, society of which Bob Dyll was the final heir, which successfully tackled some of these problems. Today, Bob Dyll represents a last stand against religious intolerance, fanatical power, cultural ignorance. His surrender of the city and kingdom of Granada symbolized the loss of the fertile cross-cultural creativity, renewal, and coexistence born out of the Muslim conquest of Spain. Just like when I talk about the papal bull and the dumb diverses. Y'all don't know what the papal bull and the dumb diverses was? Research what I'm talking about and the doctrine of discovery. Research it. We don't have to be arguing with each other, brothers and sisters. This is what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters. I'll be like, how are we arguing with each other about history and science? It's only one. If you in scholarship, it's only one. It's only one, man. And then I'll show you how they whitewash the history books. This is very simple. Because you have to be a scholar to show you the time of year and be like, oh, this is the art style. This is what they did. How? To whitewash the history books. You know, I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. You know, and I was able to talk about this in academia. Like, it's a monument. I'm gonna see if y'all be able to see this monument. I think I sent it to my muftis. Like, it's a monument. I don't know if you can see that right there. You see that? You see that? What you need, that lighter?
Lighter, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. When you see that, you see the European man there? Go ahead.
The same?
Yeah.
The same, mine.
Yeah. My dad. You see that? Now you see that? Let me break that down. What y'all looking at? Because this ain't gonna take me long. Because I'm about to go sit and relax with my dad. Listen to this. On a mountain pass in southern Spain, a crumbling monument marks where King Muhammad the sixth paused and signed on his way to exile after suffering his bewitching rose-colored Alhambra palace in Granada to Spain's Catholic monarch in 1492. We talk about the same person. Y'all know that, right? You know? And you can find it, Meet at the Press of the Moors, the SIGH. March 2026, photo by his SIVMEISINGE. SIV, that's the first name, capital SIV. Last name is capital MEISINGSET. And the picture is titled Meet at the Pass of the Moors, SIGH, March 2026 photo, and you can see what I'm talking about. And you can see everything I'm saying. Because everybody know this. They know it. They know it. But us. And we on social media arguing, oh, we're not the MOORs. We the MUURs. We the MUURs. We're not the MOORs. We the MUUR. That sounds so, that's nobody playing that semantics and that linguistic apartheid. Like, our people be lost. And I'd be like, oh, y'all playing this game. We not, the Moors did this. I just told y'all, in the Congo, Patrice Lumumba was assassinated by his own people. That happens all the time. That don't stop who you are, because things happen. You go to the continent of Africa right now, there's stuff happening. That don't change who you are. I mean, we be tripping for lack of knowledge, you know, and have us infighting. Here it is. Well, we're not the MOORs. We the MUURs. Like, okay, well, now what? Now what? I don't talk about, and women be on social media doing this, and men and podcasts, and I'll be like, come on, y'all, like, we got to do better than this. And I always be wanting to know, what's the mission? What's the purpose of that? So I said I wasn't going to be too long, because that didn't take long. I just wanted to give you all that little drip of information. But like I said, I have a whole list. I have a whole list of books, man. I told you I have a full library. I have a whole book list of everything. I have an extensive library with over 1 million books and documents, you know? Let me see. And I'll just go over. Let me see if I have something. I had something for y'all I was going to share. Let me see. I was going to give a quick drip before I go. Let me see. Or I got something I can show y'all real fast. A lot of stuff I show for education purposes only, for you have to research and know. It's a piece of science called Fruit from a Poisonous Tree that I had the pleasure to lecture about and clean a lot of stuff up, because a lot of people was getting things twisted. And I say, don't get twisted, not understanding things. You know, like I have a book called God Is Not Dead, What Quantum Physics Tells Us About Our Organs and How We Should Live. Everything that I have, I share. All the books that I have in my physical library, I converted them to ebooks. You know, Apocalypse of the Alien Gods. This is one of the books Bobby Hemmett was talking about. I can just have it off top. Another one is Spirit Molecule, DMT. Another one he have in the background is Melanin, the Chemical Key to Black Greatness. That book on Amazon is like $1,700. So this is a book called Crucible of Light, Islam and the Foraging of Europe from the 8th to the 21st century. I'm telling y'all, I have full libraries with all type of wisdom. Here go the book, The Moor's Last Stand by Elizabeth Drayson, the lady I was just talking about, giving that drip. A lot of this stuff was given to me. And I have a lot of book stuff that's converted to ebooks. And I make stuff available for our people, you know? Why wouldn't you want to support someone for small donations? And I can give you a tax-exempt receipt. This is part of our spirituality. This is part of our temple and school. So I'm able to give tax-exempt receipts. This is part of our culture. When you get turbans and fezzes, the Moorish Empire, the history of the Moorish Empire in Europe by S.P. Scott. You know, it's so, like I said, I just have a full library of everything. J.A. Rogers, I have his full library. People don't be hitting me up, what book should I read? It ain't about what book should I read. If you're dealing with a teacher, a sensei, a shaman, anything that you're going to be into, I'm going to teach a certain way. The stuff that your spirit leads you to is going to lead you to why. But I'm going to give you the keys for your spirit can be led. I'm going to give you the keys, you know, and you're going to stay in that parameter of wisdom. And if I fill that box up with the wisdom that you need, your spirit is going to allow you to master that cube. People gotta understand. I talk in spirit. You're gonna master your cube because I'm gonna show you. And once you learn how to use your tools in the toolbox, that's it. We maps and guides. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a full library of everything we need. We don't have to go outside the house. You don't have to go outside from the community. You don't have to. There's no reason we got to go to Amazon or nowhere to get no books or get no feds or get no turbans or get nothing. Why would you? I always ask my brothers, why would you? And you know me. It's part of our culture. I provide it as a sheik. When people give donations, I give taxes and receipts so you can claim on your taxes. That's how we're going to build our temple and school. That's how we're going to build our library. It's going to be a one-stop shop with the money we give Uncle Sam. And I'm continuing to lecture it because I'm continuing to show people what we can do as I'm continuing to build it. So no one can say they didn't know, because I'm making it plain for a child can understand it. And I love my people. We just have to wake up. You know, we just have to wake up. And until then, I'm going to continue to teach and teach until my people see, like, man, this is the way. If we enter this, this is a clean glass. Why? Because people have been courting me for years. There's people been following me on social media longer than me and my Mufti's been together. And me and my Mufti's have been together for 6 years. You know, for 6 years, you know, going strong. And I'm like, come on, man. Now people got to come on. Now it's time for us to come on in. Now it's time for people to come to Sunday School Adapt Class, subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel, Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. You know, check out our temple website, bbtsciencetemple.com. You know, see how you can get involved if you want to. You know, see what we got going on. We got some beautiful things going on. And what we're doing right now is trying to do our campaign to get our first brick and mortar in my city of Flint, because there's so much stuff available. And we all will be stakeholders. And we need some for our children, y'all. Like, it ain't just for us. This stuff that we're doing ain't just for us. We got to be looking at, what about our kids? They need to be like, this is something we leave our kids, a legacy of history, of science, of building. And you know, that's what I'm all for, man. So I can't find, I got so much going on today, man. I've been dropping off tea and beet juice. I got a million emails, but I was just trying to find, let me see, I'll do it. Let me see if I got it. Let me see something. Let me see if I got something real fast. If not, I have to do it another time. But I really, you know, casting my net out for people to tap in, man. I got a lot to offer y'all. And we don't have to make other people rich, you know, because they can sell our literature for cheap, and I can give everybody a tax exempt receipt. And when you donate, I give gifts, you know. Let me see. Yeah, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Here you go. I knew I'll find it. Like I said, I got so much stuff in my file. All right, I'll go over this. Oh my goodness. It's a list I got a long time ago. And I don't be saving everything because I got all the books. And I haven't looked for the list for so long, man, because anytime somebody be talking on any of our elders like C. Freeman L., Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Ben, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Amos Wilson, any books that they be holding up. Two of my a plethora of books is Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys and Girls. But I have all those books. And when you'll see any of our elders that'll be lecturing, I have it all. And I'm not saying it like I'm trying to be big-headed. I'm saying it because this is my profession, and I do. But this is one of Bobby Hemmett's book lists, you know, and I got a lot of his stuff he written down. Like when I talk about the Tantra magic and the secrets of voodoo, I call it hoodoo by Milo. That's what a lot of stuff what Bobby Hemming talk about. He does show a lot of books, you know, which is good. But C. Freeman L. exhumed it the same thing in another eloquent way. And like I tell people, you can't put our brothers together like they competing, because they not. These, if we use the analogy of tools, C. Freeman L. and Bobby Hemming are tools in the toolbox, which is in your Moore's Quran, that you use to what? Become upright. So you don't take two tools and try to have them compete. Those two tools do what they do. Tools don't compete with each other. They're workman tools. They're for a specific thing. Only man can pervert things. And that's when I say, and that's the lower self of man, what we do. We start looking at our brothers and sisters as competition. I'm a tool. I'm a medicine man. I'm a shaman. I'm a sheik. I'm a sheik of a small group of men. I'm an educator in real life. I'm academia in real life. I'm a mentor in real life. So we have our own charter in real life and our fraternal order in real life. The Science of Love. So I'm gonna break a couple books down. I'm not gonna say the authors, because I said, hey, a lot of times I'll be seeing what brothers and sisters be trying to do. Our money can't be spread. Everybody try to do things on their own. So imagine if a barber in a community and everybody like, man, this barber good, he cut hair good, and he's giving us a tax and receipt. And then here it is, somebody be like, oh, I can cut my own hair. And we don't got, why we got it? Why should we be making him successful? We can cut our own hair. You'll have a hater like that in our community. And then we won't be able to have things. When I say I'm a haberdasher, I sell suits, I sell feathers, I sell turbans, shea butter, everything for our community. And then I'm a herbalist. I got all the ancient herb books. A lot of stuff where Dr. C.V. got it from. I have the ancient manuscripts. Where did the ancient manuscripts come from? Herbology for Home Study by the Honduras doctor. I have the manuscripts. When you be hearing Dr. Sebi kids talk about the Honduras doctor, well, I have the manuscripts. And that's how I'll be making the concoctions. A lot of stuff is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. You have to know what's good for you, you know, with a mix of everything else. That's why I said it's nothing. No one can hide nothing from me. Why? Because this is my profession. I'm just waiting for my people. The Science of Love, the opening of the way, Kundalini, the energy of the depths, you know, DMT. Remember I was telling y'all about DMT, the spirit molecule? That's one. That's one of the books. What did he say? He was like, man, you're amazing. Gratitude for your kind words. He said, what'd you say? I sent you a $100 donation. Please send me whatever you feel on your heart sheet. We love you too, brother. But anyway, DMT, the spirit molecule, the astro body, magic made easy, dictionary of ancient deities, ruled by secrecy, Lakshmi, an introduction, pyramids of the Montauk, that's by Peter Moon, the Emerald Tablet, Ladder of Light, modern sex magic, understanding Aleister Crowley's thought tarot, and all of them, because I got all Aleister Crowley should just reverse science. I'll teach that later. Gerald Massey lectures. You know, Gerald Massey wrote a plethora of books, you know, a Kabbalistic universe, the Hebrew goddess, Hindu goddess, the Gnostic scriptures, the Zelator, Isis magic, ecstasy, the historical origins of Christianity, the historical origin of Islam, Black Sun, sexual alchemy, voodoo, quantum leap, Tantra, the cult of the fifth feminine, and the magician. And I didn't give the authors for a reason. And if you got all this, you can research it yourself. That's fine, because everybody can do anything they want to on their own, you know. But when you're dealing with someone and when you introduce us something, what we do, we don't give credit to that, you know. And then we try to say, well, we don't need this. Yes, you did. You wouldn't have knew about this if you wasn't introduced to it. You wouldn't have known about these things if your brother that looked like you did introduce to it, you know. And like I tell people, if I got off social media, I can climb in a shell and just teach academia, and nobody would know none of this stuff I'm talking about unless you were introduced to it. Why? Because you're not gonna know. I know this for a fact. I know you ain't gonna know about Zoroastrianism, religion, and belief. I know you ain't gonna know about the YHWH. I know you ain't gonna know about the Xavier Classical. I know you ain't gonna know about the wonders of the natural mind. I know you ain't gonna know about the biology of a contribution to the early history of the English Bible by Damas. I know you're not gonna know that. The laws against the demons. You are being lied to. A lot of this ancient manuscripts. I know you don't know who Neville Goddard is, and he was learned by the Ethiopian rabbi, Ab Allah, the healer. You see, it's us. I say our people lost. We lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn, because we won't be educated and support our brothers and sisters so we can stop complaining. Because I'm not here to challenge or debate no one or nothing. It's only one truth. It's only one science. And with that, man, I don't have nothing else to say. Well, like I said, I love everyone, but I gave y'all a little list of Bobby Hemmett's his book list. I got another one somewhere. Like I said, I'll just have to find it. And yeah, man, I'm just asking for my brothers and sisters support. All my info is in my handle, how people can donate, and my email. So if you donate, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna send you books and things. And if you wear your regalia, like I said, you purchase a fez for me, I'll give you a turban and I'll show you how to tie it. But everything for our culture, we provide, man. So that's all. But I will tell you, as I leave, I will tell you some stuff about my muftis, because my mufti Malik always liked building with other brothers. And he'd be talking about, hold on. But anyway, my mufti Malik, he'd be like, Sheikh, man, I really would, hope that, Moors come together, because there'd be a lot of Moors on social media talking a lot about a lot of stuff and this, that, and the other, which is true. But I'm like, I just don't have the spirit to debate or do nothing like that, because I'm an action person and I'm a teacher. I'm not an activist. I'm not a person to come and rile no one up. It's just my life is different. And I always tell my muftis, if that's something that you want to do, you go ahead and you do that. But if I'm gonna speak on a panel, it has to be, how can I say, systematic, and it have to be on specific topics that people think is real, so we can debunk these things. So we can debunk this sovereign citizen stuff. So we can debunk this, talk about people, some USAR or there's some Moroccan general over here. We can debunk these things when these people telling you to expatriate from this de facto government. We can debunk this stuff when I can show you who Roger Elvick and all this stuff and the paradigm group is. We can debunk this stuff when people saying you can just file this and you can file this, and I tell you that's payola, or it's a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme. That's the only thing I'm interested in. I'm not interested in sitting on the panel and just sucking money from our people and it's no solutions. I don't want to do that. I don't want to debate with no one about some old. And like I was telling my mufti, I said, after we do that, then what? Everybody gonna go back to their city? What everybody gonna do? Because people can do things now. People can volunteer. People can adopt elementary schools like I do. You can be a coach. There's so many ways that you can teach the youth the way we doing. And if you're part of the community, for me, more science, it's not just on the internet posting a whole bunch of books and talking about a whole bunch of history. It's like we the more than being upset with someone else. My ism is peace. I'm Sufi, I'm Tasawwuf, and I'm an American. I don't have no problem with no one else, but except when you making stuff up. And when I tell people my science is peace, why? Because I done been in the lion's den. I done been through real suffering. I done seen my baby brother, Akil Jelani Goodman Bey, murdered. My baby brother. We look like twins. They used to call us the twins. I'm 4 years older than him. I saw my cousin Miguel, took out. I saw my boy Mike Ville took out. I saw my homeboy in elementary at Will Middle School, Michael Blackmore, get took out. I just lost my homie 2 days ago, Mike Evans. Lost his brother last year, Derek Evans. So can't nobody tell me this life ain't serious. And that's why I'm serious. And that's why I don't play that. And that's why I look men in the eyes. And I'm like, man, you lying. And ain't no truth in you. And they can't stand around me when they not telling the truth. Why? Because they know me. They done seen me. They know my body of work. Who? All of them. Especially the ones that's telling you the foul stuff. And I've been telling people when I wasn't saying names, and I said, if you do this, this was going to happen. I told y'all it's only a matter of time. Now they coming after all of them when they saying they making this type of money. Who? Women too. And they only targeting you. They just target the other girl, the girl. I don't got to say her name. When I be telling y'all, I said, I'm telling you, y'all don't know what a pyramid and a Ponzi scheme is. Y'all don't know how far people will go to hustle you. I do. People will study a book called The Influencer so much to say, aha, aha. And I study things to disband the ghost because that's how I am. And when the ghosts come, they got to pay homage to the God because they know I know the scams, you know? I tell people that. I try to warn people of all the schisms. No one will come to me with no schism about no paperwork, none, because I'm going to ask you your name. And once I ask you your name, I'm going to tell you full of SHIT. I'm going to tell you how, because it's going to be too easy. Because in precedent law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. That's all I'm going to say. Precedent law number, doc number. Precedent law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. I'm gonna look up your name and be like, this cap. It's all cap. No one went to court and won nothing. No one filed no paper up talking about they Amish. You can act like you Amish. Why would you go to the courts and lie? Now you got to prove everything you saying. You ain't part of no Amish community. So on the record, you would be known as a liar. Listen to someone. They're like, it's fugazi. I told everybody. They take little more schemes and then they make them their schemes. Remember, you see people with a badge on and they talk about the AA22 number like they have power. Now the same people doing the same thing, riding around in these little rented cars with the same badge thing. I told y'all, I said, I know scams. Why? Because it works. Why? On the ignorant. You can't be mad at me what I'm saying. Why? Because it worked. They only can do this to their own people. And then now they own podcasts. This is called payola. This is what it is. These people ain't went to court and won nothing. Nobody went to court and won nothing. When they went to court, they was put in a straitjacket. I'm telling you what I know. I keep telling y'all, I done been around. I'm 49. I know the scam. I smell it like an alcoholic. They know what it is. Some of them got skinny. Some of them got big. Some of them took Ozempic. Some of them just gluttony. They just have bad eating habits. So it's nothing special about that when you have bad eating habits. It's nothing special about that. That's one of the deadly sins, gluttony. So it's nothing special about that. It's all about what? That's how the person lifestyle. We paying for the lifestyle. And I told everybody what? Everybody paying for a lifestyle. Why? Because you look at these people and like, oh, I need that. It's like, take my class. These are my students. And I'm like, how can these your students? So you're a teacher, you're educated. What you teaching? Because I ain't never seen nobody teaching nothing. Y'all ain't never noticed this. If you teaching something, just as much as you're on social media, you should have commercials or you teaching or anything. That's why I'll be like, are y'all people serious? It's the same thing that Novak was doing. You don't see this? Y'all don't see this. This is why I be saying this stuff be sad. And I'll be like, man, the mental of our people, and then our people be professing stuff so hard and be behind things. And I'll be like, man, this is a sad reality. This is what I'm telling people. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Support your brother. We got everything for our community. Don't do nothing. If you want to know something before you move, get with me. You're not no sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. No, you ain't finna expatriate from the de facto government. When you do that, you will be a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad, with all education purposes only. With all due respect. With all due respect. With all due respect. People be talking about your social security number is attached to millions. If yours is, don't you think that individual that's telling you that, theirs will be too? Why your social security number is attached to millions and these people teaching you this and they don't have millions? They don't even have 10 bands. Don't even talk to me about no dollars. You don't even have 10 bands. You don't even have 100 bands. And you telling me your social security, or you know your social security, you got millions taxed to your social security. Well, now the social security is like a credit. Well, you too then, don't you? Yeah, well, where yours at? You sitting up here professing this, teaching all these classes, or what ain't teaching no classes, whatever you're doing with this chalkboard, and all these people is listening to that, and you don't have what you talking about. You telling everybody they can do this, and you ain't done it. You don't have no history or no documentation of you doing or winning none of the stuff you telling people to do. And we still doing this. Like here it is, people over here call themselves some Moroccan general. Over here in the United States of America, you a Moroccan general or the president of Morocco. Like that tell you about people mental. It's like, who voted you in? How long is your tenure? How can you make up these titles? The Moroccan president or the consulate general of Morocco over here in the United States and get locked up and be in jail for traffic violations and all this stuff. Like, huh? If you the Moroccan general, I thought you'd just get expedited back to Morocco. Right? I mean, come on, man. We can't. Am I right about what I'm saying? If you the so-called president of Morocco, how you gonna come out to Arizona and get locked up? The president of Morocco don't come to Arizona and get locked up. Cause they got diplomat immunity. Like this, so I'll be telling you, I'll be like, man, are y'all serious with this game? It's making us look bad. All that fugazi, all that sovereign citizen movement, that is not more science. All I see is people doing is filing paperwork. I'm tired of seeing ladies on social media with turbans on, and just because you can put a turban on, all you talking about is title and deeds, and you can file this. That's all I see grown people talking about, and none of them have nothing, and most of them on welfare and Section 8. And you talking about the government, this, still, and that. But why you on welfare? Like the stuff be. No sign, no more sign, no God man teach this type of stuff. And then I ask people, where y'all getting this stuff from? Y'all done got this stuff from that RV Bay Publishing, that conscious community stuff. I don't know where none of that. I don't know. And I'm part of the More Sign Temple of America, so I'll be asking people where they be getting this stuff from. And the 1099, some trust fund at the end of the rainbow. I say, where you get that from? That's a religious affidavit. Who told you the 1099 is some trust fund at the end of the rainbow? Who told you so you can put the 1099 on some plate? The 1099 ain't nothing but a religious affidavit. That's just like me getting my religious affidavit from the BBT, putting it on the plate. And they say, I don't need this, none, the other. No, my regular plate stuff that's registered with insurance, because I got people in there and I'm responsible for their lives on my plate where I travel people, it say not for hire or non for profit. Now, who told you some 1099 you could take that and put on the plate and drive around? That's why I said they done put a mandate out on you. I can start telling y'all real people names. They've been sitting in the county for the last month, and they ain't even got $1,000 bail playing the game. I told you, I said you playing the game, and then they're gonna plead to a lesser charge, which they already did. And that means they telling on everybody. They telling all that USAR. I just know people real names. And then they get right on social media, man, I need legal help. If any Moors can help. But I thought y'all the government. You see? And this is what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters. I said, you can't fall for this stuff. The 1099 is no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. It's a religious affidavit how the Moorish Zion Temple of America was established. I have the state booklet. So if anybody got a plate with a 1099 on it, you in trouble. And you showing it on social media like a dude was on my page with that plate on there. I said, dude, you got to be either special ED and your feds got to be a dunce hat. Why? Because clearly you don't lost your marbles. Clearly you don't lost your marbles. I tell every brother this. I said, because what you think? Why you think the 1099 is something you can? It's a plate. Where you got that from? And I just told you it's a religious affidavit. I'm part of the Moorish Science Temple. It's how the temple was set up. You want the letter? If anybody want the letter, all you got to do is give a small donation. I get a letter from the CCRD, the County Clerk Recorder of Deeds, telling Sheik Love L and Sheik is Love L that you lawfully tripping on what you talking about. I'm telling you. And this was years ago. Years ago, what, 2016, if I'm mistaken? It might have been 2016 to 2012. I got all the letters from the County Clerk Recorder of Deeds. That's why I'd be laughing. I'll be like, I'll say, all y'all the ones committing crimes. Wow, on social media. I'm like, these old men so outlandishly crazy. I like these the people that'll be telling on themselves. If we was on the block getting the bag, if we was on the block, measuring the street per se. Why? Because they're gonna show everything on social media. And that's how you're getting caught up. How? Because you talk about some 1099 and you're not from the Moorish Science Temple because you listen to some jackleg on the social media, with all due respect, for educational purposes only, and they sold you a dream. And you got a plate with a 1099 on it. And I'm telling you, I'm part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and a 1099 is a religious affidavit. So it ain't, the 1099 is a religious affidavit. Now what? And a grown man that was on my page, he owned his page, and I had to look at his page. I said, and with all due respect, I'm not judging, but when I look at brothers and sisters, when I look in their eyes, no matter if they're male or female, I see how they got. How? Because it's like a deer. It's like it's no feeling in the eyes. And I'm like, you don't want to be resurrected and cleaned up. Why? Because if you're that old and somebody can sell you a dream like that, and you would put that on your car, like that's a dream. Like that's not the mission. Our prophet ain't never did no stuff like that. Our prophet had plates on his car, everything. Our prophet didn't get rid of his ID. Your ID is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. We for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these orders are violated, justice must then take its course. Stop flashing your cars at other people. It causes confusion. If you don't want to obey these orders, return your car, your fez, your turban, and go back to the state where I, the prophet, found you. I mean, it's just what it is. We're not here for no confusion. You think anybody from the Moorish Science Temple of America rode around with some 1099 plate on it with Noble Drew Ali on there, like these people done made up, like, went to the middle of the mall and said, make me a plate with 109999 on it with Noble Drew Ali on it. I said, who's making those plates? Somebody making those plates. So somebody making those plates and they making money off selling that to y'all. Somebody making those plates. Hell, it might be the Dango police and y'all don't even know it, getting everybody under a database. So, and it get everybody under a bigger RICO. And y'all don't even know that. And they've been PFIing y'all for the last few years. And so when they put the mandates, when they subpoena everybody, they got everybody. How? Because they've been doing this thing for years. You ain't heard me say that. You ain't heard me say that. I'm just talking. Y'all don't even know who you give your information to. You done met somebody on the internet, a P.O. box and all this, and these people got all your information, and you'll put that plate on your car. And you're not even from the Moorish Science Temple of America. So when you go to court and they're gonna say, well, what does 1099 mean? You're gonna sit up there and say something, and they already know why, because they already got this information. I told y'all a mandate just went out. So you're gonna get in front of the court for the record, and you're gonna lie. That's contempt of court. They're gonna lock you up. How? Roger Elvick and Sovereign Citizen Movement. I'm telling you, you fit the same language and the paradigm group. How? Because that's what you're doing. I'm telling you, you're going to lie and say, oh, you're more right. And are you part of the Moorish Science Temple of America? No. Well, what does this 1099 number is? You're going to say this, and they're going to pull out the document from the county clerk recorder of deeds, and you're going to be proven a liar. So what you think next? Now you're going to plead yourself to the courts, and you got this plate on your social media. You got this plate on your social media like a nincompoop. That's why I said it's a lot of nincompoops, with all due respect, because you're not part of the temple. You don't want no truth to be taught. These are men 40, 45, 50, older, because I'm an elder. And I'm like, man, something got to be wrong with you. And you got a woman, I'll be feeling sorry for the women and the babies. Like, man, I just feel sorry for the women and the babies to have men like that talking about they part of the science, and this the science, this not even the science, and this the criminal behavior that they own. I know a whole bunch of men that lost their lives and were in jail with this stuff. Oh, well, I gotta get this. I gotta build the government, and this is my land. I don't know how to do business, and filing all that fake paperwork and filing this, writing the provost marshals. I done seen people get walked out their jobs, men and women. I said, what is you doing? Where you getting this stuff from? Oh, we this and we some foreign nationals. I said, that's an oxymoron. How you a foreign and a national? I thought you was an American, but then you got these other people teaching that you some Moroccan. I'm like, man, clearly there's something wrong with the mental. Then they be dissing what the prophet taught. I'm like, man, I ain't got time for that semantics. And you see everybody doing the same thing. They either pushing paper, saying you can file this, or you can file this, or this group is better than that. Or you got brothers that just talking, or you got the brothers that saying, doing like the Novak dude, take my course, and you can file this piece of paperwork. You could be like the Amish. I'm like, man, this is goofy, man. But I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for taking time out y'all day, listen to me. If y'all want any books or anything, check out mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z. Also, man, if you're dealing with me and you're part of our community, this is a part of my community. And I give you things for donations. Check out moorishhaberdasher.com, where we sell all our Moorish American regalia and much, much more. But also, man, check out my noble Brian Higgs Bay, his music, transportation of raw materials, streaming on all platforms. The whole album is fire, I promise you. And also my Yacht Son Tees and ALO Design Pro for all your, internet and website needs. But you will see that going on our commercial. But, Nobles, like I said, y'all see my phone number at the bottom. Everything to get with me, man. And when you like the teachings, and when you give donations, I give love back because I love to give gifts. And that's how we're going to build our first brick and mortar in our community center in my city of Flint. And I'm going to teach everyone because we are a community. And we can do this how? With the money we're giving away to Uncle Sam thinking we're getting a tax return. Everybody can get a tax return receipt because this is our community. So we don't, for anytime you get things from your sheik, you get a tax exempt receipt at the end of the year like my Mufti did, because it's a part of our community. And your tax exempt receipt be itemized. Like my Mufti gives donations each month, and they also have in-kind service. All the regalia they get, all the books that they get, that's part of our community. Because we tax exempt from the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, education-wise, and donation-wise. And once I show people this, it's like, man, all thing we're going to own is our temples and our charter schools that's inside of our temples, our religious schoolhouse. That's all we own. We got to understand that. And I'm a clean glass and I got allies. And I'm not taking our kids out of public schools. I want our kids to go to public schools to deal with other people and their peers. What we're going to provide is a 7th hour. What we're going to provide is summer school when the kids are out of school and the parents working. We have summer school. And once we get to that level of having our full functioning charter school like Andre Agassi, like Jalen Rose, like LeBron James, because they don't have the curriculum that I'm be able to teach. They don't have the curriculum like I'm gonna be able to teach. And a lot of these people are modern day NILs, name, influence, and likeness. You just put your name on things, but what's the curriculum they teaching? The same old thing. I use an analogy like Donald Trump was one of the first NIL brothers. Why? Because a lot of the stuff Donald Trump don't own, his name just own it. And so he get paid for his name, influence, and likeness. For what? You can go to the Trump Towers, And so this is what I'll be trying to break down to my brothers and sisters. But brothers and sisters, man, we got to support our temple and school instead of making all these other people successful, and everything about us, you can get a tax exempt receipt. And we use those funds to build our temple and to spread this science. And it's coming, y'all. And it's part of our culture. But before y'all do anything that'll get you in trouble, all y'all got to do is hit me up, man. If your son or somebody have just got into the science, all y'all got to do is hit me up. All y'all got to do is hit me up. You don't have to get caught. You don't have to get caught in nothing. You don't have to get caught in no bull crap. So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Peace, light, and illumination.
Peace, 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 peace.
Gratitude, Brian, for your time, man.
Islam. So without further ado, we will give our Moorish American prayer.
Yes, sir.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night and by day. So Holy Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayah Asha Ayah, Hotep, Islam. Amen. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 and gratitude for your time tonight, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too. Gratitude for the message.
Absolutely. Spirit speaking, truth seeking.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.